Welcome to the Basketball Movement Podcast. I'm Anthony Chavis.
I'm Craig Smith.
Thank you for joining us, okay? McDonald's All-Americans came out.
Yes.
A couple of congratulations to some guys that we got to watch the Bass Pro Tournament. David McCormick from Oak Hill, your boy, Darius
Garland from Brentwood Academy.
RJ Barrett from Montverde.
Yep, saw him last year.
And also Keldon Johnson from Oak Hill Academy.
Yep.
So we were going to talk about the All-Americans that did made it, but you think the better story is?
Well, it's the McDonald's All-Americans I love. There's always some politics in play, and some players feel like they get left out. Like Sharif O'Neal, he was not happy.
But if there's politics, how is Shaq's kid the kid that gets left out?
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sometimes those West Coast kids get left out. It happens a lot. A lot of California, Arizona, Colorado kids wondering, hey, wait a minute, how can everybody in America be on the East Coast? How come this West team is full of kids from Virginia?
That's why we go everywhere with a chip on our shoulder. That's why us California kids represent West Coast all the time.
Exactly.
So speaking of representing West Coast, California kids, what's going on in Portland?
That's something out there. Everybody thought the Trailblazers, after a couple years ago, they kind of overachieved. Everybody thought, oh, here they come. CJ, Dame Lillard.
And just a cast of characters.
Yeah, Aminu starting to hit threes. People are like, hey, this is going to be a good team going forward. NBA salary cap went through the roof. All these teams had tons of money in 2016. Portland went to a bunch of free agents offering them money. They all said no, and then they sunk $82 million into the corpse of Evan Turner. Now they're capped out. They don't have any space. They have two little guards. They have trouble stopping people. They're still fun to watch.
Yep.
But they're done. They have to do something. I don't know what, Coach. What do you think?
They got to figure out some kind of trade. I mean, all these guys that are kind of on these teams like Marc Gasol.
Yep.
You know, people are shopping him around.
Right.
They gotta get in and figure out some way to get in on one of these deals. I mean, I think that they trade everybody not named Dame or CJ for Paul George right now.
Yeah,
and make the West a lot more interesting.
You have to do something. The problem, in 2016 when the salary cap went crazy, a lot of teams spent on players that didn't help them. They thought the salary cap would keep going up, and now it's flattened out. So teams are taking on bad contracts as a gift. So if you'll take on a bad contract, the team was willing to give you a draft pick or a good player, but they don't even have any room to stash a bad contract.
No.
And no one's taking Evan Turner back.
So how long before the hate gets pointed at Dame? How much is this?
I think the clock's already ticking, which is too bad because I like Dame. He's a good player. He fits in today's NBA. He's a new school player.
Yep.
But pretty soon people are going to look at him and say, oh, all you can win is 41 games? What kind of star are you? So I don't know how long it's going to take, but it won't take long because people are fickle.
What can he do?
I don't know. I don't know what he can do. He does everything right. He represents the team well, represents the community, does everything right. Man, his signature
rap.
He can rap. His signature shoe is a great seller. Kids like it. Kids like him.
Shout out to Adidas.
So I don't know what else there is available to him because he's not going to go to the media and scream and cry. He was such a big face of the community that LaMarcus Aldridge wanted to leave. Not because Dame was doing anything wrong, but because it was Dame's face on billboards in town. Well, yeah, it's Dame's face.
Yeah.
Because they like him.
Well, how much of this is Terry Stotts then?
That's a tough one. Now we're talking. Now you have to figure out when they're putting the team together. And Neil O'Shea was the general manager. When he's getting people to put together, was he getting together with Stotts? Because I think Stotts is a good X and O guy.
Yeah.
Were they building this team together, or were they just trying to find a place? Please find somebody that'll take $82 million. So that's a tough call.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know who's going to get the blame, but part of the problem is there's a generational team out there that they have no chance of beating. Would it have mattered had they done everything right? Would they be able to beat them? Yeah, probably not. So
debatable.
As the GM, and when you're looking at that, what do you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
We can't beat them as we are. We can't beat them if we'd have done everything right.
I think their misstep was letting LaMarcus Aldridge go, figure out a way to keep him, and now you're using him as trade bait.
Now you're getting somebody for him. That's right.
Yeah. Now he's your Paul George piece or your Marc Gasol, or maybe things are working so well that he's staying. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see what happens in Portland. Okay, couple of quick hitters here. You see Trey Young over the weekend?
Yeah, Trey Young had one of those games that he'd like to forget. A lot of points, 49 shots. Is that what it was?
39.
No, 39. Yeah.
Yeah. And 48 points.
And even worse, late in the ball game with an opportunity to pick up a loose ball. Kid from Oklahoma State laid out to go get it.
I seen that. I'm glad you brought this up.
And Trey pulled up short. Now,
yeah, he
that
did.
might have been a good business decision.
Oh, it's a great bit. Exactly. I'm glad you.
But it doesn't look good.
There.
But the optics are bad.
To who?
To people watching.
To
people who spent.
Oklahoma's not winning the national championship this year.
No.
They're gonna make a run in the tournament, and that's great for Coach Kruger.
Absolutely.
But how much does that really help Trey Young? Why is Trey Young there?
He's just going to the NBA.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That was a good business decision.
It's a great business decision. So people are killing him for not diving on the ball. If you can score 48 points when everybody knows you're trying to score 48 points, you're not taking that chance either. That dude who dove on the ball.
And he was late anyway. Trey wouldn't have got there first.
No.
All that's going to happen is he's going to fall on him.
He's going to run into like one of their bigger players, and he's going to get crunched up, and it gives that guy, I'm telling that big post player, like, hey, if you get a chance to get on the ground with Trey Young tonight,
dive on him.
Dive
Top
on
roping.
him. Make sure he knows that he got into a dogfight.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, I think people are unfairly killing him. I love his game still.
Me too. Me too.
Still love his game. The NCAA, they're looking at changing the transfer rule. Kids that want to transfer, they can do it immediately.
Becoming immediately eligible.
Why are they doing this?
Because Mr. Ball is talking about having the Junior Basketball Association. Something is going to happen. Like I said, I don't know when we talked about it, a couple weeks ago.
2 podcasts ago. Listen,
someone is going to have this fight, and the NCAA has to do something.
Yeah.
So when a young man at Kansas has a wreck in a car and we somehow can't figure out who owned the car and he has to sign with a Bosnian team,
now he's in
and
Bosnia.
The 2 Ball brothers are playing in Lithuania, so the colleges are like, wait a minute, all these kids are going to leave.
Yeah.
We better do something. All right, immediately eligible, fine.
That they can.
Anything. As soon as they can iron out academic standing, it's going to be done. It has to be done. Otherwise, these kids will be like, all right, fine. Man, Mitchell Robinson, that went to Western Kentucky, decides, I don't really want to play for Rick Stansbury. Well, now he can't play at all.
Yep.
So he'll have a place to go play. And if the NCAA doesn't do something about it, kids are going to be in school for 3 weeks, decide to hate their coach, and they'll be gone. Yeah. So to keep them there, keep those arenas full, make sure all those old dudes are getting those fat checks. They're going to make sure.
People at the top got to get paid.
Absolutely, man. They're going to figure out a way to make kids be able to just hop school to school.
Yeah. Yeah. But that fight is definitely being had now.
Yeah, it is.
But there's not going to be any progress one way or the other until they say, okay, what's the number here? How much do we have to start paying?
Got to pay them.
Money talks.
We've had this conversation. I promise you. Mitchell Robinson decides he doesn't want to go to Western Kentucky. Rick Stansbury is getting paid in cash dollars, not college credit offerings.
Straight up. Yep. And you can't buy diapers with college credits. You can't buy none of that stuff.
These kids are going to get paid the end.
Eventually. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So. This week, the NBA has just been nuts. People, I don't know if it's just, it's been a full moon or what, but guys are taking swing. Aflalo took a swing at my man Nene. Yeah. And I still don't understand how he missed. But you said he kind of pulled up short thinking, suspension, pull this up short.
Money. Take my 2 games.
But man, we seen your boy from Miami, him and Ibaka go at it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Chris Paul dug a tunnel. They took the back way to the other locker room. Come on, man. And then the NBA wants to say, oh, Chris Paul went as a peacemaker. You're telling me a man who's been suspended 3 times for punching people in the junk decided he was going to be a peacemaker in the middle of a fight? Don't talk to me like that.
So why didn't Harden and Paul get suspended?
Because they were playing the Warriors on the ABC on Saturday night. You can't suspend them for that. That's your marquee game. You can't screw up your game.
And it was everything we wanted it to be. It was a good game.
It was. It was good.
Now, who comes out of that game better? Who feels better after that game?
Well, the Rockets act like they do. They spend all day on Twitter talking about we better. They are 17-0 with Capella, Harden, and Paul playing together. Congratulations. I saw a team without Kawhi Leonard beat you last year by 30 in your building.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear about how much better you are now until you do something. I've seen Chuck and Duck at the end of every fourth quarter. So you just happened to hit a couple last night. Is that sustainable? I don't think so.
And the Warriors, they had open shots.
Just missed them.
So I think the Warriors look at this like, all right, we took their best shot. We know exactly what to expect from them.
Yep.
And the Rockets are thinking, we won. So both teams look at it kind of differently. I think the Warriors come out of there better.
Yeah, I do too.
For sure. Well, thank you for joining us again this week on the Basketball Movement Podcast. We'll be back next week with more stuff, more basketball as always. Don't forget to follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, we're everywhere. Follow Coach Rob as he goes to Orlando and everywhere in the world. Thank you once again for joining us.